right. Today we'll be doing our virtual reunion, which is super exciting. We'll have a check-in icebreaker energizer question, then some updates from the Stevens Initiative. We'll talk about virtual exchange. We'll have another energizer game, a mini workshop on careers, and then just a few updates of some exciting things going on the Experiment Digital side. I know you all are alumni of the program, but as usual, just a quick reminder of some of our group norms. It's okay if connection issues happen, just be patient. Because English is our common language of understanding, it would be great if we could all just speak English and chat in English during this event. And then, as usual, please make sure to follow online safety practices of not sharing this link with anybody and not taking screenshots during the meeting. It will be recorded and shared with alumni. So if there's something you wanted to go over again, you can see that in the recording that will be shared with you all via email. I know some of you have already introduced yourselves in the chat. We'd love to hear from you, so you're welcome to just put a quick message in the chat saying hi or saying where you're from or what you're excited about today. To get us started, I'll introduce myself. My name is Angelina Freeman, and I'm the Digital Program Coordinator with the Experiment Digital here at World Learning. And I'm here today with my teammate and a wonderful guest speaker, Christina. I'll pass it to you.
Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. My name is Christina Wagner. I'm the Digital Program Officer for the Experiment Digital, and I'm so happy to see you here today.
And we also have joining us today a wonderful guest speaker from the Stevens Initiative. Rowan, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Sure. Thank you all so much. It's great to be here with you. I'm Rowan Nasser, a program associate with the Stevens Initiative, and I work primarily on our alumni engagement portfolio. So it's really great to be in a room with so many TED alumni.
All right. We're going to get started by talking about what virtual exchange means to you. And to do that, we have a Mentimeter that we're going to use.
Okay, so just like Angelina said, we have a Mentimeter here. And so go ahead and you can scan the QR code there, or I'm not sure if we can put the link in the chat, or you can just, type it right there for everyone to see. So add in some words to describe what virtual exchange means to you. So once you get to the Mentimeter, again, go ahead and add a word or two to describe what virtual exchange means to you.
Does everybody have the QR code or the link to join? Because I'm going to stop sharing my screen so that I can share the responses. Okay. Nobody said no, so I'm going to take that as a yes. And I'll go ahead and share my screen.
Okay, good. Making a change, opportunity, learning, connecting, networking. These are excellent on, kind of what that virtual exchange opportunity, well, kind of what it did for you or how you connected, and again, what it means for you. One of my favorite things about virtual exchange is that cross connection or that cross collaboration. I've personally met so many wonderful people on this program, participants, alumni, people that I just work with. And it's been such an exciting time for me, a great opportunity as well to meet other people. So thank you so much for putting these responses in here. couple others here, a place where you find maybe, connecting with others. Again, that opportunity, life-changing opportunity. Again, thank you so much for adding these.
Yeah, these are wonderful. And I think some of these words are a great transition into the next component of this, which I'll pass it to Rawan to share some updates from our funder and talk a little bit about virtual exchange.
Thanks so much, Angelina. As I said before, it's so great to be here with you all, alumni of the Experiment Digital program. From the work that I do, I'll just say that the TED alumni that we have in our network are some of the most engaged alumni from across our program. So it's really exciting to be here to share a little bit about the Stevens Initiative. And just to give you all kind of an overview of the work that we do with alumni engagement, my role specifically is to make sure our alumni stay connected with us and are aware of the opportunities available to them. It's sometimes hard for our alumni to understand where the Stevens Initiative fits in with the program that they've completed. So you all did the Experiment Digital from World Learning, and so sometimes that connection of the Experiment Digital to World Learning makes a lot of sense, but then it's like, where does the Stevens Initiative fit in here? And so that's kind of where we step in and try to help you all understand the opportunities that you all have as Stevens Initiative alumni as well. So I wanted to just first start off by sharing a really brief overview of the Stevens Initiative, how it was developed, what its goals are. So very quickly, the initiative was launched in 2015 as a lasting tribute to Ambassador Chris Stevens, and he dedicated his career to building bridges between people in the United States and the MENA region. And so you might think, what does virtual exchange have to do with Ambassador Stevens, and how is it really a legacy or a continuation of his legacy? Ambassador Stevens spent a lot of time abroad during his high school and college years, and then he went on to serve as a Peace Corps volunteer in Morocco. And during that time in Morocco, he really grew fascinated with the MENA region. And it was really during that time of his life where a lot of his views on the world were shaped, and it really sparked an interest in the region for him. And so because the ambassador built a legacy of people-to-people diplomacy, having those really important conversations with people who are different than you to reach mutual understanding. We like to think of these virtual exchange programs that we fund, like the Experiment Digital, as representing Ambassador Stevens's legacy of working towards peace by connecting people across borders. So I hope that is a helpful overview of the initiative and why we continue to invest in virtual exchange programs. Now, for you all as alumni of the Experiment Digital, you are also alumni of the Stevens Initiative. And so I hope that you all receive our communications that go out monthly. We send out newsletters with updates, opportunities, offerings that we lead at the initiative, but also ones that come across from our networks. And so a lot of times you'll find opportunities there, either that our initiative developed, so things that we're leading, or things that are trusted programs that we have come across through our network. So there are sometimes scholarship opportunities there. There are sometimes more virtual exchange programs you can join, in-person programming that you can apply for as well. And so it's really important, and hopefully you all receive these in your email. So for all of us, it's really important that you understand not only are you World Learning alumni and Stevens Initiative alumni, but there's a third community that you're now a part of, and that is the U.S. Department of State's Exchange Alumni Network. And through this network, you'll have access to exclusive opportunities specifically for alumni who have gone through an exchange program funded by the U.S. Department of State. And so it's a really great place for you to connect with other young people across the globe who have shared an exchange experience just like you, and apply for opportunities there to further develop the skills you started gaining from your virtual exchange experience. And so the Exchange Alumni Network has grant opportunities, depending on if you're in the US or if you're in the MENA region, there are opportunities for you on that network. So it's also kind of this third layer of an alumni community that you're a part of. From us at the Stevens Initiative, as I mentioned, you'll receive these monthly newsletters directly to your inbox. If you don't receive these newsletters already, I will put in our email in the chat, and you should please reach out to us to make sure you're on our outreach list, and that you're receiving these. Some of these opportunities that we include in the newsletter include our specific initiative offerings. So we have an alumni fellowship that we launched in 2022, and we just recently closed applications for a third round. The fellowship is a year-long professional development opportunity. It has both in-person and virtual components, and we hope to continue announcing this grant opportunity or this opportunity annually. So please look out for it. It's a very exciting opportunity. And Angelina, who's leading this call, is one of our 2023 fellows. So I'm sure she can share a lot about how that experience was. Hopefully it was a very positive one. We also have more opportunities. So there's a chance for our alumni to participate in a review committee for our grant competitions, where we offer an honorarium for your time and effort to help review proposals that we receive. So going back to the beginning of what I was saying about the Stevens Initiative investing in virtual exchange programs. So similarly to the TED program, there are dozens of other programs that we fund, and how we arrive at funding these programs is we hold these grant competitions, and we bring in our alumni to sit on those committees to give us feedback on these proposals that we receive from institutions and organizations, because we really understand that you all are best set up to give us this feedback. You are the people who have gone through these programs, you have that valuable perspective, and this is just another way for us to bring you into the work that we do. So that's an opportunity there for you. And then lastly, I'll say we purchase a subscription for our alumni to have access to an online professional development platform called Localized. And on that platform, there are resources, there are career workshops, and actually they hold these career fairs every quarter, which are really great. So it's a really great place for young professionals or undergraduate students like you all, and really at any stage of your career that you're in, or in your academic journey, there'll be something there that's valuable. So they have both English and Arabic resources, which is really great for our specific alumni community. And so I would highly encourage you all to set up an account on Localized and to make use of all the resources on there. So that is a bit of an overview of the alumni opportunities we have for you all. I hope that you find value in these opportunities. And again, I'll share our email in the chat. If you all have any questions, please feel free to reach out, and we look forward to staying connected. Thank you to Angelina and Christina for giving me the time.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming to speak today. It's always wonderful connecting with you. And I was just thinking, a year ago today, you and I were in Jordan with the 2023 Alumni Fellowship, which was an amazing experience for me and 23 other fellows. So that's definitely an opportunity to keep your eyes out for if they continue rolling it out annually. Yeah, thank you so much for one. Next we have another game. So I'll share my screen again. And I think this is a fun one, in my opinion. Oh no. Okay, so this one is Stand Up If, which is an activity we do a lot with our participants, and also our facilitators and our peer mentors. So it's been on my mind lately. And how it works is we're going to read out a few statements, and if the statement applies to you, you can turn on your camera and stand up or raise your Zoom hand, whichever is easiest for you. So for the first statement, it is, I enjoy connecting with friends online. Seeing lots of hands, that's great. And I think especially with the virtual exchange community, we would expect to see a lot of people who enjoy connecting with their friends online. All right, you can go ahead and put your hands down to reset for the next one. Perfect. All right. I have played a sport or currently play a sport competitively? Yeah, lots of hands. It's definitely good to be active, and playing a sport can be a great way to connect with your community and to build friendships across all stages of your life, I think. All right, we can go ahead and lower our hands to reset for the next one. I am a morning person. One hand. Five hands. All right. Four. Yeah, maybe not the most popular statement. My work hours are 7 to 3 in my time zone, so I'm definitely learning to be a morning person, but I still resonate with those of you who did not raise your hands for this one. I speak 2 or more languages. 9 hands. Wow, that's amazing. And I think especially 11 for a community like ours that's very international and loves connecting with different people across cultures. I'm not surprised to see that. Does anybody want to go off mute or tell us in the chat which 2 or more languages you speak? So, Arabic, French, English. Yeah. Arabic, English, a little German and French, Kurdish, Arabic, English, Arabic, English, French, and German, Arabic, French, English, Spanish. Wonderful. All right, thank you all. All right, we can go ahead and reset our hands for this one. I love spicy food. All right, does anybody want to tell us in the chat their favorite spicy food or a spicy food that they really enjoy? Spicy ramen. Yeah, that's super popular, I think, here. Spicy ramen, second. Okay. Spicy kebab. Nice. All right. Most of the hands are already down, so we'll go ahead and do the next one. I prefer summer more than winter. A couple of hands. Okay, cool. So I like all seasons except for when I feel sick. Yeah, I think that's a good point. Yeah. All right. I like mountains more than the beach. Some fans of mountains, more activities. Okay. Yeah, because sometimes beaches are just like sand. Makes sense. All right. That wraps up our stand up if activity, and I'll pass it to Christina for a workshop on career choices.
Sounds good. Thank you so much. It was great to see all the different hands there. I participated too, so I hope that was okay. Okay, so I'm here to share about career choices and career options. There we go. So there are so many ways to research and reflect on what our strengths are and what career choices we might like. And so one way is to, when we're looking at researching careers, is to take a personality test that looks at your ambitions, strengths, and weaknesses. And one website, it's called 16 Personalities, is really a great one to try. And so once you've completed it, it gives you sort of like a code or a four-letter result that determines your personality type. And this can be used really to learn about careers that, you may be really great at. So I'm going to go ahead and put the website address in the chat. We don't have time during the call to take the assessment, so please copy the link from the chat so that you can take it later. Okay, and there it is right there. Okay, let's go to the next slide, please. Thank you. And once you take that assessment, again, it'll give you this four-digit sort of like a code, and these are the 16 options. I am personally an INFJ, so it's in that second row, the first one. And I've actually taken the test several times over many years, and I always get the same one. Oh, I love seeing in the chat too. That's great. Usually too, whatever code you are, typically you tend to gravitate, like connect with people of the same code as well. And so just a little bit of background about this test. It was a test developed many years ago by Carl Jung, and it's been used in many places of research and reflection. It's called, the official name is an MBTI. It stands for Myers-Briggs Temperament Inventory, I think, but I think calling it 16 personalities, is a lot easier. Okay, so with that four-letter code, you'll get one of these options in each rectangle there. So you'll get an I or an E, which is introvert or extrovert. You'll get an S or an N, which is sensing or intuitive. You'll get a T or an F, which is thinking or feeling. And you'll get a J or a P, which is judging or perceiving. And each letter really represents something unique about you. So I have a couple of examples to show you. And the first one, I thought I would use myself as an example. Again, I am an INFJ, and that stands for introvert, intuitive, feeling, and judging. And so some of my strengths are fluency in language and communication, writing, counseling, public service, and politics. Jobs for INFJs are psychologist, graphic designer, researcher, education, and management. Again, this is mine, in particular for my code after taking the assessment. And personally, I actually think it's pretty accurate. For the jobs listed here, there are also many others, but I just wanted to put, a few on here for this slide. I pretty much like all of these, but I wouldn't want to be in politics. I definitely have no desire to be in politics. So, that's something that you'll do as well, kind of go through it and decide what you think you would like to do and what you think you might not like to do. And then on the next slide, we have another example. And this one here is an ENTP, and that stands for extrovert, intuitive, thinking, and perceiving. And so, excuse me, the strengths are knowledgeable, quick thinkers, original, excellent brainstormers, charismatic, meaning they really get along with a lot of people. Jobs for ENTPs, attorney, psychologist, photographer, consultant, actor, and sales or marketing rep. Now, I want to mention too that it does give you that four-digit code, and this represents your preference, but it doesn't mean that that you're not part of the other options. So, for example, I am an INFJ, which means I'm introverted, but that doesn't mean I'm never extroverted. It just means that most of the time I'm introverted. So, just something to keep in mind, when you get your own code. So this slide here and the next one will look at skills, work environment, pay scale, and education. And so after you take that test or the assessment, start exploring career options. You'll want to look at your strengths, your weaknesses, or I like to call them areas of opportunity. And then asking yourself, do you agree with the careers suggested for you? And again, think about if you do agree with those career options that it gives you, because you don't have to. Just like one suggestion for me was politics, that doesn't mean I have to go into politics. The options are just there for you to consider and maybe start narrowing it down at some point. So now, you'll start researching those careers. So again, you'll take that assessment, it'll give you that code, and it'll say, okay, here's a list of, I don't know, 20 or 30 careers that this personality type might be good at. And so again, you'll start researching those careers. You'll look at what skills are needed. What is the work environment like? How much does it pay? What type of training or education do you need? And is there job growth? All of these questions here are some of the top questions you'll want to ask about. Um, and then you kind of start narrowing it down from, again, say it gives you maybe 20 or 30, you'll want to narrow it down even further. So what you want to do is take, that large group that it gave you and start asking yourself if you could actually do any of them. Could you picture yourself in that career? For example, maybe it said that you might be a good nurse, but you realize you can't stand the sight of blood. You might want to, kind of eliminate that one. Or maybe it said that you might be a good delivery driver, but that sounds maybe super boring to you. So you might want to eliminate that one as well. And this is what you'll do with these 20 or so career recommendations. From there, then take the list that you've narrowed it down to hopefully 10 or under and ask yourself these questions again. What skills are needed? What is the work environment like? How much money does it pay? What type of training or education do you need? And is there job growth? If the job doesn't pay as much as you would like, you might want to consider something else. If there's no job growth in 10 years, you should definitely consider something else because once you graduate, there won't be a job for you. Okay, I know this is kind of small, but I thought it was helpful information. I have 3 careers on here and some information. And I live in the United States, so the information on here is from the United States. You'll want to do similar research in your own country. For if anyone is from the United States that lives here, there is actually an excellent website through the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and it's a great place to find information. Again, you'll want to find something similar in your own country because information varies from place to place. Okay, so the first one is network administrator. And the median means like in the middle, not entry level, not the person who's earning a ton of money, just kind of like in the middle for this position. And again, these are US dollars, is $95,000 per year. Typical entry level education is a bachelor's degree. Skills needed, communication, problem solving, and so on. Work environment. You might work evenings and weekends. And the job outlook or growth from 2022 to 2032 is 2%. Kind of average growth, but not a ton of growth. The next one I have on here is elementary school teacher. Median pay, so that pay in the middle, is $63,000 per year. Typical entry-level education is a bachelor's degree. Skills needed, patience definitely, organization, critical thinking, and so on. Your work environment. You could work in a public or private school. There's probably outside work where you're grading papers or preparing lessons. And the job outlook or growth from 2022 to 2032 is only 1%. So there's no growth pretty much for an elementary school teacher. And then the third one I have on here is mechanical engineer. And the median pay is $99,510. Typical entry-level education is a bachelor's degree. Skills needed, creativity, listening skills, math skills, problem solving, and so on. The work environment, you'll work in offices and have occasional visits to work sites. And the job outlook or growth from 2022 to 2032 is 10%, which is faster than average growth. Now, this last, career example that I showed you is for that mechanical engineer. And so again, these are United States numbers. The US job growth on this chart here over the next 8 years shows 10% growth, which is really excellent. And there should be many jobs for graduates. However, like I mentioned, I live in the United States, and the area of the United States that I live in is a state called Ohio. And there's terrible job growth for mechanical engineers in the state of Ohio. We have many more engineering graduates than we do jobs. So while you're researching your country, you'll also want to be more specific to the region in your country. And job growth is really one of the most important things to consider because, think about it. If you put all this work into getting your degree only to find out that there's no jobs once you graduate, this is definitely a very important factor to consider. I think there's one more slide on there.
Did we skip it? All right, I'll go back.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Oops. Is this what you needed? Or do I need to go back?
Yeah, it was before the bingo.
Okay, so sorry.
There we go. No problem at all. No problem. Okay, so there are also different types of schools. Depending on where you live, you might call it a college or you might call it a university. In the US, we look at college and university as higher education after high school graduation. In the US, the difference between the two is somewhat minimal. A college mainly focuses on undergraduate programs, while university has a wide range of degrees like bachelor's, master's, PhD programs, and so on. In some of your countries, the word college might mean middle school or something else. And so there are different types of phrases, depending on where you live. The next one on here is trade schools. Some may think that with trade schools, maybe you don't make as much money. That definitely isn't always true, though. My brother is a plumber and he went to a trade school and he makes quite a bit of money, actually. And then the third one is workforce. And there's nothing wrong with entering the workforce directly. You might work in a family business or take the job, maybe that you worked at in high school and then maybe work full time. You might not know what you want to do yet. So you decide to work at maybe like a local store, deciding what else you'd like to do. And I think really the important thing is that you have something to do, kind of make that choice, give 110% to it and work hard. And you can always change your mind, and try something else. But we always want to make a choice for something. Okay, thank you so much. If anyone has any questions, feel free to put them in the chat.
I'll stop sharing and give everybody a second to think of questions for Christina.
I love seeing other people's codes in here as well. And like I mentioned, a lot of time you get a code and you find out maybe your friends take the same one and you find out that you're really close. You have the same four letters or maybe one letter off. It's always really funny how that happens. I love these ENTP, another INFJ, ENTJ. These are great. Thank you so much for sharing these. And if you haven't taken the test, I think it's really eye-opening. It kind of shows, your personality, again, like maybe what careers you might like, a person you might be compatible with in a relationship. Lots of really great pieces of information on there.
Yeah, thank you so much, Christina. I'm going to share my screen again and we're going to play a bingo game. So I think the way that we could do this is we can all play as like a group and then I'll go on here and I'll just take like this little circle maybe. And I'll use the circle to like mark out when we've marked one off. So I was thinking what we could do is go through them and see if anybody in the group like applies to them and then we can mark it off. So the first one is does anybody do volunteer work? All right. Does anybody who does the volunteer work want to tell us about that work that they do? Maybe just in the chat. Or you can also unmute if you want. But yeah, Rafat, do you want to tell us like what type of volunteering work you do? Peer mentor for the Experiment Digital. Wonderful. All right. Is there anybody who would like to go out of their country for university? Or that has gone out of their country for university? All right, we have a hand. A semester, summer semester? Yeah, I did that when I was in university. Yeah, wonderful. Um, nice volunteer work in university clubs. Um, does anybody have a parent who attended university? All right, wonderful. I think I know this one already, so I'm going to go ahead and mark it off. Speaks more than one language. I know we have tons of people in the group that do, so I'll mark that one off. Yep, all the hands just went up. It's wonderful. Um, does anybody in the room have excellent grades at school? Hands. Okay. Congratulations. That's wonderful. Does anybody here have a leadership role in their school or their university? Yeah, okay. Do you want to tell us what your role is? Um, is anybody here active in a church, temple, mosque, or other house of worship? Great. It can be a great source of community support. All right. Does anybody here want to, or maybe currently attends, formerly attended a small university? So like not that many students. Nice, okay. $18 in a class. Yeah, I think that's definitely small. Um, my university classes were much larger than that, I think. Does anybody here want to work in a STEM field? Oh, hands up, hands up. Okay. I'll move that over. Um, wow, okay. Does anybody have brothers or sisters that attended university? Yeah, okay. I will move that. Um, we're doing really good and crossing out the line. So I'm gonna try and get us like a vertical line. Um, let's see. Does anybody here want to work in communications? One, okay, cool. And if anybody has like a career aspiration they want to tell us about, definitely welcome. Does anybody want to work in the medical field? One, nice. Are you currently in uh like a pre-med or a medical field degree, or is that something you're just like thinking about in the future if you want to tell us as well? Computer science. Thinking about it because you love it. Okay. Something artistic or social. Arish, do you want to work in a medical field? Dental student. Okay. You got us. Does anybody have a parent who did not attend university? Nice. Thank you. All right. We have covered, I think we have bingo. Any direction, I guess, unless we want to go that way. What do you think? Do we want to keep going or are we good to wrap up? Keep going. Okay. Um, Does anybody play a musical instrument? Yes. Anybody want to tell us which musical instrument they play? Guitar, some piano. Trying to play piano. That counts if you're trying and learning. Guitar seems like a popular one. Yeah, anybody else? All right. Um, has anybody been a peer mentor or is currently a peer mentor? Me too. All right, we'll move that there. Cool. We have every direction, but I guess we can do a few more while we're here. Um, let's see. Who loves the experiment digital? Almost, yeah. All right. What have I done? Love to see it. Thank you all. Um, who has a part-time job? Yeah, nice. All right. Is there anybody who wants to attend a trade or technical school? No? Different goals. Okay. So we may not be able to fill it. Oh, yes. Okay. Wonderful. Thank you. I guess we'll just finish them because we can. Does somebody live in the country that they were born in? All right. Mm, who all has visited a university campus? Yeah, I think anybody who is currently in university can raise their hand for that too. Um, participates in a sport at school or in university. So many hands. Okay. Does anybody want to tell us which sports they do? Soccer, basketball, frisbee, Buddha, football. Nice. I did gymnastics when I was in school. Um, let's see, studies or does homework for at least 1 hour per night. Anybody? Yeah, I'm sure all the students are like, yeah, I do way more than that. Um, wants to or is majoring in math or the sciences. I know we have somebody who's doing, somebody says, I do my homework 5 minutes before the deadline. I know we have a computer science student, so I'm going to mark that one off for us. And then the last one, does somebody want to attend a large university? Nice. Okay. Lots of people. Yeah, it's definitely a different experience being at a larger or small university. And we did it. We covered the entire thing. So I think we've won no matter how you want to count it. And I'll go ahead and reshare the other screen. Hmm, where is it? One second, my Zoom is acting funny. Hmm, share screen. Okay. Um, Bingo was our game. And I'll pass it to Christina for some updates from the World Learning team of interesting Experiment Digital news.
Sure. Thank you, Angelina. So, just a few updates. Be sure to connect with us on our social media channels like Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. We do have a Facebook page as well. And in case you haven't seen the announcement, the Experiment Digital is expanding to Latin America. Our 2024, it would actually be 2025 next year, cohort starts in the summer, and we will start with a climate change program, and we will have as well a Spanish language immersion program as well. So, if you are still in high school and you live in the United States, that might be something that you want to participate in. And always feel free to reach out to us to share any personal or professional updates because we love having just kind of photos or things that you share with us that you're doing. We love to hear about that and we love to see that. So always look out for the survey that we send out. And feel free to fill in that information or just feel free just to say hi and shoot us an email or send something to us on social media because we love hearing from all of you. Thank you.
Yeah, and on that point, if you haven't done so already and you're on social media, you're welcome to connect with us. We have a LinkedIn group chat, we have a Facebook alumni group. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, and we also have a YouTube channel. The survey would have gone out back in January, so if you haven't got it, don't worry about it, and you can just participate in the next one. Yeah. And in other exciting news, our 2024 Leadership in STEM cohort starts on Monday. So we're also super excited to have that up and running. And that's all for our alumni reunion today. So we'll wrap up just a couple minutes early. Thank you all so much for coming. Before we wrap up, do we want to do a group photo maybe? If anybody's interested? We can also not, because I know it's a bit of a smaller group today. Yeah, if you want to be included, turn on cameras maybe? Can't turn on your camera. Can't use my camera. It'll be a small photo. All right. Is anybody else interested in participating? All right. Totally fine. All right. 1, 2, 3. Thank you all. All right, with that, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap up and we will talk to you all later. Please feel free to reach out, be in touch if you ever need anything from us. Thank you all. Bye-bye. I'm gonna end it, I think.